Yo, Club, I'm on Master Duel. I'm going to be showing you some replays today because every time I make a live duels video, I just have the worst luck. Every time I play off camera, I win a lot, but I don't know, just today I'm having the worst luck with live, like just duels in general, like Pokemon TCG Pocket and Master Duel. So instead of doing a live duels video like I said I was going to do, I'm just going to show replays from yesterday where I was able to win a lot. But now that I'm recording live duels, it's just lose. It's like, nah. So I'm cancelling that and showing replays instead. I would like to show more. This takes a while because Pendulum, you know, Pendulum being Pendulum. I just didn't care. I was doing other stuff while this duel was happening because Pendulums just take a long time. I'm like, I'm just going to hit you with super polarization anyway, so whatever. So just kept doing all this stuff. I didn't even know because I just wasn't looking. I just saw it was my turn and I went, oh boy, and yeah. So my opponent's doing all this. Okay, so that's what they did. Sure, I didn't see any of it, so it's new to us. Not new to you only, the person watching. It's new to us. Wow, so this is everything they did just to get hit with super polarization. Okay. Yep, 5 cards in their hand, 6 cards in their hand. Sorry, not 5, 6. Even though they have 5 cards in the graveyard, 2 other cards there. Another link. Yep, 2 wind monsters. Perfect. Alright, let's stop fast forwarding. Good God. My opponent used Maxi, so I decided to just use super polarization now, just so my opponent doesn't draw a card. They're going to draw a card with when I use Millennium Ink, sure, but yeah. So I summoned Mud Dragon, because that was the only card I could summon. I used Millennium Ink, summoned Exodia. Didn't start with any of them, which was nice. Oh, actually, I did, never mind. The left arm. Exodia. My opponent drew a card, activate infinite permanence, negate. Okay, sure. Okay. That's fine. So I used my effect and dealt, yeah, a lot of damage. Then I set down this. Got this with Exodia. And then my opponent left. So all that, blah 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 blah, and yeah. This deck is weird. It's like Blue Eyes, Millennium, some Dark Magician, what? So weird. So they're going first. Okay. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is where I hit my opponent with Droll. So I use Infinite Permanence on Sagifizer Blue, because the plan was to basically just use Mausoleum. Sorry, once my opponent summons Spiritfizer Blue to get Mausoleum, that's when I use Droll and Lockbird, shutting them down from, you know, using Wishes and other things like that. So I use Droll, and yeah, so my opponent couldn't really do anything else after that, so they summoned Blue Eyes White Dragon, and then summoned Neo Kaiser Seahorse. You know what? Yeah, so my opponent's deck is very weird. My opponent is just... I think I'm just showing this because I found it funny. Like, I think my opponent fought... Like, why are you using Imduck with Blue Eyes? Okay. So my opponent summoned Predaplan. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But my opponent sent Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon, because obviously they thought they had Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon in the graveyard, because they're like, alright, I'm going to summon Dragon Master Magia. But I just found it funny. It was like a senile moment where it was just like, you don't have Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon in your graveyard. You didn't use Wishes. You didn't use Fusion Armament. Like, what? And then, yeah, my opponent left. What did they send? Fusion Armament. Like, they just... Oh, if they had Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon there, sure, I would have been screwed, but... Yeah, you did. I just found it funny. It was such a weird deck. It was like Millennium, Blue Eyes, splash of Dark Magician, I guess, and... I'm sure. This is against the Nothing Burger deck, Ryzeal, which I still don't know what it does too much. I mean, I do now because in this duel I finally got to see what it does. Here my opponent summoned that Ryzeal monster. I should have used Ash Blossom, but I was saving that for a spell and trap. I didn't think my opponent would have Called by the Grave. But, yeah. I should have done it the other way around, but I was just saving Ash for like a spell or trap. But, unfortunate. So now I can use it. But I'm pretty sure my opponent got this monster because of this, so yeah. So my opponent XC summoned this monster. Got that Ryzeal plugin. Eat Ryzeal or something. And then Node Ryzeal, like, I'm finally seeing the deck in action. Finally. My opponent, yeah, just summoned 2 monsters like that. Okay, we've had XC summoning, sure. I don't know why, but my opponent didn't negate Millennium Ink. Oh, actually, I don't think they could. Oh yeah, it doesn't make... Okay, it's destroy. But my opponent can't destroy Exodia, so it's fine. Then my opponent used Infinite Permanence. So I used Crossout Designator on Infinite Permanence, so my effect went through. But then it didn't or something because of the field spell. But then my opponent XC summoned here, but at least my Exodia can't be destroyed. And I was just like, okay. Then I went to activate my effect, and then my opponent destroyed their Chameleon 1, which I was happy with because the Cyburst, Pyro, and Thunder. So here I used this. My opponent couldn't do anything. Just, I negated that. And yeah. Ryzeal. Stronger than Malis, apparently. Nice, 2 more replays. Decks in the previous video. I'll put at the end of this video. In the top left. But yeah, I'm still sick, so which is why I'm like, just, you know, sounding a bit like, and just not talking as much. So I used Blue Eyes to get Millennium Ink. Oh god. Then my opponent used Duel, and I found that so funny. I'm like, that's fine, like, I already got what I wanted, and now with this, I just wanted to summon this. I know I can't get a card, but it's fine. So I summoned Exodia, and then I just didn't have to worry about Maxi. So I summoned Exodia, set down my 2 cards, and then I got the same trap card with Exodia, just in case. Just to make my opponent think I only have 1. It's only once per turn, right? Yeah, why is it once per turn? So stupid. So he's Infinite Permanence on this Malis card. My opponent used Crossout Designator. I negated it with Exodia. So I pretty much stopped Ryzeal and Malis. And I let Ryzeal set up, by the way. You know, people say only 1 because I was able to set up, but you saw in the other duel I defeated Ryzeal without setting up. They went first. So here I destroyed my opponent's Malis monsters. They went to the battle phase. I was like, ugh. You know, they can only 1, but no, my opponent was just annoyed and left. So, but yeah, that's Millennium destroying the meta Ryzeal and Malis. That's going to be the last replay I show you. Forever, I quit. No, I'm just kidding. Alright, so here... Okay. It's pretty good. I think Millennium Shield got negated. Yep, it did. Yep. So I got negated. Now I set down my 2 cards. I summoned this. And this was just doing nothing the whole time. This was just doing nothing. It eventually did something, but yeah. So here I used Effect Veiler. And then I used their Only One. I think after Called by the Grave. Actually, yeah, my opponent used Called by the Grave. So I used their Only One. I said good luck. My opponent underestimated me. Because my opponent actually could have won. I'll show you where. So here... yeah, my opponent got that. So my opponent got rid of that to summon that, unfortunately. Ugh. To get the field spell. And my opponent was sort of thinking about winning after, not sort of in the moment, and that's what screwed them over. So here my opponent summoned this to destroy that. Summoned that, and I was like, special summon. I was like, finally I can use this fucking trap card. So my opponent attacked with that. Because I sort of stopped them with their Only One, right? But here my opponent was just sort of thinking about how I can't win here. So they're like, alright, obviously I'm going to have a next turn and win there. So that's what screwed my opponent over. Because here they got that. So I used Millennium Shield. And then my opponent decided to destroy their Only One instead of Millennium Shield, which means I can get Millennium Ankh. So like maybe, I don't know why, just my opponent easily could have won if they had destroyed this and not this. But my opponent's like, you're only going to summon Exodia with 100 attack. Like, my opponent was just sort of thinking about ahead and not really, you know. Because I guess Exodia can deal some, like, you know, I can summon Exodia, use the trap card, destroy all of my opponent's cards. Maybe that's why they did that. But they just couldn't think I could win here. So they underestimated me. So I got Millennium Ankh. And then my opponent is activating all of these cards, and I'm just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. But yeah, they were sort of thinking ahead, not so much in the moment. So I summoned Exodia. And then I used Obliterate Blaze. And I destroyed every spell and trap on the field. Then my opponent summoned all of these monsters in defense. How much life points does my opponent have? I can't see because of the effect. Oh god. 8,000, okay. How much attack does this have? My opponent would have been fine as well, I think, if they just didn't summon this monster in defense. But they summoned the monsters in defense. Nah, they still would have, like, let's say that my opponent didn't have this, and just had these two in defense, I still would have won. But if my opponent had the monsters in attack position, my opponent would have won. So I attacked this monster and won. I bet my opponent was so pissed off as well. And this is the duel that ranked me up, by the way. That's why I stayed. I was like, I'm going to stay. I'm not going to quit. And yeah, because of my opponent just thinking ahead, I won. So thanks for watching. See you all later. And I won like 4 or 5 duels in a row, by the way. These weren't just like, oh, win, lose. I actually like won all these duels in a row. See you all later. Bye.